Reclaiming is a lot of hard work, and for someone like me that hates hard work, it's something that I often push aside. But now the bucket is almost full and I have some extra scraps, so I need to do it today. So first I have to mix it, because it's all just put in there with water, but it's been sitting there for a long time, so it's all dissolved. Now I just need to mix it up, and I will put it on my plaster beds and let it dry a bit. Now as you see, this actually have a lot of water, so in order to take some of that water out, you can use a sponge and just suck it out. It's gonna be a little bit of mud in this too. I'm gonna save it because when I add more dry scraps in a moment, I may need the water, and there's a lot of nice fine particles in this. It's just all this water. I don't really need to add this to my plaster beds. So it'll just take a longer time to dry. See, now it's much better. Now it's just mud. I love this. I have two of these. I think they're called bedrollers, like these plastic boxes you can buy in hardware stores or IKEA. And I fill them up with the plaster and I let it dry, and that soaks out the water underneath, which is good, because otherwise it will dry on the top and be completely wet at the bottom. So I put my reclaim, my mixed reclaim in here, maybe this thick or something. Let it stay there for a few days. It depends a little bit of the humidity, a lot of the humidity and heat in my studio. Right now it's only early spring, so it's still, like only 20 degrees and humidity is decent. So probably take maybe a week or something. Sometimes I then turn it around to get more even dryness. And then when it's dry enough that I can wedge it, take it up, wedge it, and store it. I'll get back to that. I have two of them, so I put these beams in between. I put the next one, so still some airflow. So this is definitely the most dirty part of the work. I think this is good for that one. This is why I so much wanted puck mill. So if you guys from Peter's Pucker is out there, and Peter Puckers, if you're out there and want to sponsor a puck mill, that would be lovely. Anyway, sooner or later, I'm probably gonna get around to getting one, but now it's just a lot of hard work. It's so good. Now, just leave them there for a few days and we'll be ready. Now the clay have been sitting here or soaking here, drying here for about a week or so. And now it feels, not completely done, but it feels like it's getting closer to a stage where I can wedge it. So now I want to see, I can actually lift it up So I want to turn it around, because even though it does tend to dry very even with the plaster beds, I still want to turn it around for a couple of days just to make sure that we have a consistent clay through the whole block. So that was the upper one. Gonna do the same thing to the other one. Yeah, that feels almost the same. So yeah, I can easily turn this around like that. I'm gonna put it back. See here for another couple of days, and then we're gonna wedge it. Now I think the clay is ready. It's been sitting another few days, and it's ready to cut out and give a quick wedge before I store it. Let me just take a look here. Yeah, I can, push my finger down, but it's not wet. It feels sort of dry, but not too dry. So now I think I'm gonna cut it up into, maybe 2 or 3 pieces. And then I'll give it a quick wedge. I'm not gonna wedge it completely finished, ready to throw, because I need to wedge this reclaim anyway, just before throwing it. So yeah, this is a block. So let's wet this and wrap it up. It's a little bit on the hard side, but it'll be okay. When you're wedging a big chunk of clay like this, you can, of course, do normal sort of wedging, but it's very hard on your body. So what I do is I slam and cut. It's a nice method of wedging and actually very efficient. So you turn it around like this, make a cut, and now of course you can see it's very uneven. So throw it down. Take it the other way, cut it again. It's called slam and cut. At least that's what I call it. Every time you cut it, you sort of multiply the layers. So very quickly, you get a lot of very fine layers. See, already now it's beginning to look better. It's still a little bit uneven, but lots of the air holes are gone now. By doing this, you're really using gravity as the main force instead of your arms and your wrists. And so that's it for now. This, of course, needs to be wedged some more before I can actually throw it, because there's too much inconsistency and probably still some air bubbles. But what I found is that after you reclaim your clay and you with this quick wedging, it's actually best to store it. It's better after a few weeks. I'm not sure why, but somehow, I don't know, the particles kind of fall to ease or something. I don't know the scientific explanation or reasoning for it, but it tends to work better. And if you have clay enough, time enough, that's fine. Here's probably, I don't know, what is it, 15, 16 kilo of clay, reclaimed, free clay, you could say. I've paid for it, of course, but it's scrap clay, so now it's reusable. I'll just wrap this up and put it into a storage bag. It is of course important then whatever way you wrap it up, that it's completely airtight, because you don't want to dry it anymore at this stage. I usually start out with these garbage bags because they're quite good. They're sort of airtight when you wrap it tightly around the clay, and it seems to work well. But that's just the first layer, and I make sure that it's tight around the clay like this, and like this. So I don't trap any, or at least very little air inside my cube. I'm just gonna do the other 4. So now I finished pre-wedging, you could say, the 4 cubes of reclaim, and they are wrapped up tightly in these bags. But just to be extra sure and for the ease of transportation, I'm going to put them into this very heavy-duty plastic bag. So now they're ready to store in a dry and cool place. I keep them in my basement. It's a very stable temperature and it's dark, and it's just perfect for storing the clay. Reclaimed clay is not like any other clay. And especially if you do like me, I work with different kinds of clay. It's all stoneware. But even if I work with some porcelain, I throw everything into the bucket. Because what I found is that these mixes of clay are actually really good. And sometimes you get surprised, sometimes it's not so good. But at least it's clay that you would have otherwise thrown away. So you're saving money. And yeah, there's a little bit of work with it. But if you make it like I do here, it's not that much work. I mean, I spent a total of, I don't know, 15 minutes. And I just got probably like 16 kilo of clay. I think that's okay. So I hope you got inspired. And if you did, please subscribe, share, make a comment. Maybe you have some tips for doing this in a better way. And I hope to see you soon again. I will, as usual, have a new detailed video every Sunday at 5 p.m., around 5 p.m. Central European time. So check in there, and in between Sundays there will be some smaller videos and some shorts and whatever. So anyway, I just hope to see you. Have a great day.